Romans 11 verses 33 to 36. From depths to doxology, the overflow of divine mercy. Some mountain peaks are too high to live on, but they must be climbed. And once climbed, they must be worshipped from. Paul has reached the summit of redemptive revelation, a journey through wrath and righteousness, Israel and the nations, sin and sovereign mercy. And at the edge of that theological Everest, he does not issue a final argument. He offers adoration. Words, once precise and persuasive, now soar and stumble in the wind of wonder. This is no mere conclusion. It is a crescendo. For when the soul sees mercy mapped out across the canvas of history, it must sing. Romans 11 verses 33 to 36 shows us that true theology must end in doxology, as Paul exalts the unfathomable wisdom of God, the utter independence of God, and the all-encompassing glory of God. First, the unfathomable wisdom of God. Oh, the depth of the riches and wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are his judgments, and how inscrutable his ways. Verse 33. Paul begins with a gasp. Oh, not the voice of a philosopher, but the cry of a worshiper. He peers into the vast ocean of God's being and sees not a shoreline, but depths unfathomable. The word, batos, depth, evokes not mere complexity but the bottomless immensity of God's wisdom, Sophia, and knowledge, gnosis. The first is divine strategy, the second, divine sight. Together, they orchestrate the salvation of Jew and Gentile in a way no human could script. His judgments, his decisions, are, onexorinata, beyond investigation. His ways, his paths, are, anezikneas toi, untraceable. Like stars reflected on a midnight sea, they dazzle but cannot be grasped. And yet, every decree, every detour in history, every twist in your own story flows from this depth. Here is no blind fate, but sovereign orchestration, where providence wears the mask of mystery, and what seems accidental proves intentional in time. Paul does not apologize for what we cannot understand. He adores it. Second, the utter independence of God. For who has known the mind of the Lord, or who has been his counselor, or who has given a gift to him that he might be repaid? Verse 34 to 35. From the depths, Paul turns to declarations, rhetorical bolts flung at human presumption. These are not mere quotes. They are thunderclaps from Isaiah and Job. Who, indeed, has known God's mind? None. Who has advised him? No one. Who has made God a debtor? Not a soul. Here, God's independence shines like lightning on a stormy night, sudden, brilliant, and humbling. He is not managed, manipulated, or maneuvered. He does not consult his creatures before executing his plan, and he certainly does not owe anyone. The Greek verb, proedoken, from prodidomi, in verse 35, suggests prior giving, with the expectation of return. But no one has ever placed God under obligation. As Haldane observed, if grace could be earned, it would cease to be grace. This truth shatters every spiritual transaction we try to make with God, our moral bartering, our hidden pride, our whispered claims that we've done enough. God gives, not because of us, but in spite of us. Third, the all-encompassing glory of God. For from him and through him and to him are all things. To him be glory forever. Amen. Verse 36. Paul now arrives at the grand symphony's final note. Every line of theology, every thread of redemption, every atom of creation finds its source, sustenance, and goal in God. Exau too, from him. He is the source of all existence, the fountain from which all flows. Diau too, through him. He is the means, the mediator, the upholder of all things. And eis auton, to him. He is the end, the telos, the destination to which all must return. It is the most sweeping theological statement in all of Romans. All things, not some, exist by divine design. Redemption, history, your very heartbeat, all are tethered to the throne. And what does this truth demand? Not apathy, not abstraction. Worship. Theology has done its work when it brings us here, when syllogisms become psalms and mystery becomes melody. To him be the glory forever. This is not filler. It is the flame. It is where doctrine burns bright and the redeemed bow low. Reflections for today. First, has your theology led you to all or only answers? We live in a time of theological precision, systematic charts, bullet-pointed truths, and quick answers. But Paul reminds us that divine truth is not a puzzle to be solved, but a mystery to be worshipped. Has your study of God stirred your soul, or only stocked your shelves? Second, are you content to receive what you cannot control? We love a God we can manage, a God who fits in our frameworks and owes us for our effort. But the God of Romans 11 cannot be counseled, cannot be cornered, and cannot be coerced. Do you trust him even when his ways bewilder you? Or does your peace depend on your understanding? Third, do you live as one who is from him, through him, and to him? This is not just cosmology, it is identity. Your breath is borrowed. Your strength is sustained. Your purpose is tethered to his glory. So why chase autonomy? Why live as though your story is your own? Every act of pride is a denial of this verse. Every anxious grip on control forgets its conclusion. To him be glory forever. Fourth, has grace become too explainable to astonish you? Paul ends not with a dissertation, but a doxology. Why? Because mercy, rightly seen, will always erupt in praise. Has grace grown predictable to you? Have you lost the wonder of being grafted into God's plan? Perhaps the deepest sign of spiritual health is not how much you know, but how much your knowledge moves you to worship. Fifth, is your life a song or a strategy? Some live as analysts of grace, others as recipients. Paul shows us what it means to respond, to fall to our knees in stunned silence, to lift our voices in eruptive praise. Does your life echo, "To him be the glory," or does it whisper, "To me be the control"? Conclusion: when theology touches the heavens. At the end of Romans 11, Paul reaches for language, and it bursts into song. And maybe that's the truest form of theology, when words, heavy with truth, are lifted into worship. We are not meant to stand as architects over God's decrees, but as children, eyes wide, mouths open, singing at the threshold of mystery. Here is the heart of the gospel. God is wise beyond tracing, independent beyond debt, glorious beyond measure, and yet, in mercy, he has drawn us into his eternal plan. To him be glory forever. Amen.